Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed to the people to not to buy gold, reduce oil consumption, use public transport like metro, work from home, avoid foreign travel, stop buying foreign commodities. So he has made a series of appeals to the people. Well, the primary intention of that was to reduce the pressure on dollars, pressure on the foreign exchange reserves. India already has $691.11 billion of foreign exchange reserves. There is absolutely no cause of concern as of now. So, this $691 billion foreign exchange reserves will suffice for 11 months of imports. But the West Asia crisis has certainly put pressure on this rather comfortable foreign exchange reserves. Let me draw your attention to the 1991. India had only foreign exchange reserves that will be sufficient to meet the import demand for 15 days. That was the time when economic liberalization began in India in a more systematic and sweeping way. So, Prime Minister's appeal should be seen in the context of growing pressure on our foreign exchange reserves. And well, this concern is acceptable, there is no dispute about it, and a part of it is beyond our control also. We have no control over the West Asian war, we have no control over the rising fuel prices as a result of that. But the question comes is, when the Prime Minister wants people to sacrifice, is there any introspection on his own behalf? Did the government of India, under the leadership of Narendra Modi, prepare well for this crisis situation? So that is the fundamental question. Is it to educate people? Is it to motivate people to do these simple sacrifices? Or is it a shrewd attempt to hide his own government failures? Let me answer this question with a few statistics. Firstly, India is an oil importing country. We have a huge import dependency in fossil fuels. There is no doubt about it. This is not the problem of Modi government alone. It is a legacy issue. But what did Modi do? Did Modi accentuate the problem or did Modi alleviate the problem? That is the fundamental question. So, look at the statistics, you will understand how Modi aggravated the problem. When I say Modi, the Modi dispensation. India's import dependency in the energy sector, in the crude oil sector, was 77.6% in 2014. Now it has increased to 88.6%, a massive 11% rise in the energy import dependency. Should ordinary Indian be blamed for that? Why did the government fail in oil exploration and production? So why did government not address this problem of increasing or growing import dependency in the oil sector? Well, Narendra Modi has to answer. Then the second statistic I will tell you. Well, every country, especially the major oil importing nations, should have strategic oil reserves. What do you mean by strategic oil reserves? We construct huge irrigation projects like Nagarjuna Sagar, Bakranangal, Hirakud. Why? We store water when there is heavy rains and we use that stored water in a hour of crisis. Similarly, through the minimal support funds, government procures food grains and stores them in the Food Corporation of India godowns so that they will be helpful in a hour of food crisis. Similarly, strategic oil reserves is also a concept wherein a highly import dependent nation stores the oil by purchasing it when the prices are very low and using them in a hour of crisis. So let me tell you, did Narendra Modi do it effectively? The international benchmark for strategic oil reserves is for 90 days. It should meet the oil requirement for 90 days. Do we know how much we have? We just have strategic oil reserves which are sufficient only for our 10 days of consumption. Whereas the neighboring China has 6 months of strategic oil reserves, which means 180 days. And why this is a problem? Well, I am not even asking to enhance the capacity of the strategic oil reserves, but Modi government miserably failed to even use the optimal capacity. The capacity in India is 5.33 million tons, and today how much oil is there? In the strategic oil reserves, only 3.37 million tons, which means only 64% of our strategic oil reserves are today filled. So should the government owe an explanation to the people of India before Prime Minister asking the people to sacrifice? I am not disputing the Prime Minister's appeal. I totally endorse the Prime Minister's appeal. But my question is, when you ask people to sacrifice, when you exhort the people to sacrifice, the government, the Prime Minister should have the humility to introspect on policy lapses and government's failure to meet the emerging crisis. The third example, look at the trade. The merchandise trade deficit has grown from $241 billion in 2023-24 to $281 billion in 2024-25. If we even include the services trade, it will be much larger. And out of which $116 billion is a trade deficit with China, a country which we have serious border disputes. The same BJP ecosystem, the BJP Parivar, has called for boycott of China after the Galvan. And surprisingly, under the Modi regime, the India's import dependency on China has increased. So the entire talk of boycotting China is an absolutely empty rhetoric and a cruel hoax. So we are depending on China for very ordinary things. Interestingly, in a country led by the Hindutva politics, we even import the idols of Hindu gods from China. Can you accept this? Why can't this dependency? Where is Make in India? What happened to the Make in India slogan? Is there any honest introspection of the successes and failures of Make in India? Did Prime Minister mention anything? Absolutely not. Then the fourth piece of statistics. Look at the price of rupee when compared to dollar. Well, it is always declining. It is always sliding. But look at the extent of decline under the Modi's rule. The value of dollar is around 60 rupees in 2014. To be precise, I think around 58 rupees. Today it has surpassed 95. And it was around 85, 86 just a year ago, by the end of 2024. And today it is 95, 96. So what is happening? Why much before the beginning of the West Asian War, we have increased our import dependency. Well, Ukraine war did not impact us because in fact it benefited us. We are buying Russian oil at a cheaper price. And the rupee has been declining, especially at a time when the dollar value is also declining. and rupee is Asia's worst performing currency. So who should be blamed for this? Inability to protect the value of rupee. When there is a secular decline of rupee, and that too such a steep reduction in the value of rupee, should the government be accountable to the people of India? So instead of urging people to sacrifice, government should certainly and honestly introspect on its failures.